up, everybody? This is King Ju here, back at y'all with another episode of King Ju Talks. So today, let me make sure I got all this right. All right, today I want to have somewhat of a not a too serious topic today, but something like that, something that I think needs to be discussed. Today is going to be about the price tags that kind of have us in a chokehold, basically living in excessive spending or basically the lies that we're kind of stuck in. So, with all that being said, sit back, grab a snack, and let's chat. Of course, y'all know gotta have the notes to stay on track. But in any case, I'm going to start with a few materialistic items that I think, personally, in my personal opinion, I think that us as a people, we're kind of stuck on getting, even though we see that it's expensive and some of these items are useless, we still buy into it or we still buy these items with no questions asked. So the first thing I want to talk about is all of our apparel items, like designer handbags. You have things like that, like Louis V, Chanel. The ladies, you guys can probably chime in more on that. But we have the high end watches like Rolex, jewelry, of course, which I'm not really a jewelry person. As you guys can tell, this ring is silicone. Like, I'm not getting a, probably never going to get a gold ring because I'm just not into jewelry like that. Only on very special occasions. And even then, to be brutally honest, man, half of that shit be fake. It be $2 chains from Sheen. If you could tell it's fake, you too damn close to me. But back on track. Yeah, so you have your handbags, your watches, jewelry, shoes, and clothing, of course. Now, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna get a little bit more into the shoes. Personally, I don't really see a need for the re-releases of Jordans that tend to happen. I mean, obviously, Jordan is the most popular shoe brand in my opinion. I mean, hell, he's been re-releasing the same shit for decades at this point, and we just continue to buy it. Yeezys, never was into that. Dunks, I mean, I guess that's cheaper, but I don't know. But Jordan specifically, I think that the fact that he basically re-releases the same Jordans year after year after year, and people are still buying it at the rate they are, to the fact where it's like motherfuckers are getting killed over shit like this, it's very alarming in my opinion, especially in our community, our black community. I really don't think that, well, this could be a controversial take, but I really don't think that buying Jordans is the best idea. I mean, obviously, you do what you want with your money. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money, but from my personal experience, I mean, I do. To be honest, I mean, I do have a few pairs of J's myself, but I don't have limited edition Jordans. I'm not spending $500 on one pair of shoes. The most I spend on a pair of shoes is maybe 300, if that, and that's even a stretch. Because honestly, my shoes, they run about 150 a piece. I mean, I got G Nikes, $100. I got ones, Jordan ones, 120 a piece. I got Air Max, $85. Hell, I even got TikTok shop shoes. I haven't really worn them, but I still have them just in case. But to the amount that people just fork up their money and with such ease is just, I mean, again, I'm not saying that, spend your money on what you want to spend it on. This is pretty subjective. I mean, it's just my personal opinion. I think that we can do better with that. Honestly, I mean, I feel like, well, I don't know. I guess it is what it is at this point because I'm not going to change anybody's mind. I'm not looking to change anybody's mind, but just something that we should really keep into consideration. Now, moving on to clothing, a lot of these clothing brands that we just buy into, like Gucci and Louis V and things like that. I don't know if y'all know, but a lot of these people do not like us as black people. Like, I'm pretty sure Gucci doesn't. I mean, I've heard Gucci doesn't. Louis V, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Coach, I don't think he does. And it's not to say that they don't have quality stuff, which I'm not going to argue that. I'm not here to talk about that. But me personally, I'm not spending $500 on a shirt that's, one, probably going to shrink after the first wash. Two, from somebody who don't give a fuck about me or fuck about black people in general. And three, I probably won't even like, and it's probably takes all of what, $3 to make those shirts. You just take a basic shirt, slap a logo on it, and upcharge it for damn near 500% more what it would really be worth. I mean, that's just how they do it. I guess so. I don't know. But hey, but yeah, the clothing, that's another thing. And just to digress for a minute, I understand that rappers and musical artists, they don't really make it that much better, especially considering today, like, the society is full of followers. Like, nobody wants to take charge, nobody wants to lead and say, "Hey, I'm not gonna wear this because of yada yada yada." Like, people are very easily influenced by what they see in social media and in music nowadays. But I'm not gonna digress too much off that. So yeah, that's our luxury lifestyle based on apparel, and again, designer handbags, high end watches, jewelry, sneakers, and clothing. So I'm gonna move on to the next, I guess, form of items, that being technology, and electronics. I'm gonna save now. First is the smartphones. I'm gonna save that for my last one though. I'm gonna start with gaming consoles, which I personally am kind of a victim of because I have a PS5 and a Series S and a Nintendo Switch and a gaming monitor and a MacBook. So, admittedly, I will say that I am a victim of that. However, in my defense, this MacBook is strictly for work. I mean, I use it for personal reasons too, but this is mainly my piece of work. This is what I use to stream to you guys with. This is what I use to upload everything. It's this is my personal work space. So I don't think that. Damn, it's fucking hot. My bad. I don't know who invented summer, but they need their ass kicked twice per day. This shit is ridiculous. But getting back on track, yeah, your gaming consoles. You have, like I said, PS5, Xbox, Nintendo, and then you have all the other gaming systems as well. Now, me personally, I am an avid gamer, so I do have these systems. The Switch 2, on the other hand, I don't know. I'm probably gonna end up getting it, but at least not right now. Man, it's the fucking prices of the shit though. The Nintendo Switch 2, like with these tariffs that what's his name got, this shit is just ridiculous, man. I think they selling those games for like $80 a piece now. Like, that's more expensive than fucking PS5 games. Well, normal editions, that is. Smart home gadgets is another one. I think I'm gonna hold that one for last though, because this is gonna kind of get into my next one. So let's talk about these iPhones. These little pieces of fragile pieces of glass that our whole lives are pretty much in. Apple has been taking our money since shit. When was the first iPhone? 7, I think. Yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But correct me if I'm wrong. But Apple, Steve Jobs, has been taking our money and laughing at us since the first iPhone came out. Because from iPhone to iPhone 4, so every time there's a new batch of iPhones, like let's say iPhone 4, 5, whatever. Every time there's a new batch of iPhones to drop, it's literally the same shit, just one major difference. So let's look at it like this. From the iPhone 3 to the iPhone 4, the biggest difference, the two biggest differences, Siri, well, 4S, Siri, and God damn it, Siri, I'm not talking to you. God damn. I forgot this shit got this on here. Yeah, let's move you over here. So the two major differences is the S word, since I can't say it because motherfucker listening, and the shape of the phone. So if y'all remember the iPhone 3, whatever, it had a little curve in the back of it, kind of similar to the iPods. The iPhone 4 came out and it was basically a rectangle. It changed the shape of the body of the phone, which I appreciate that. I get that. Moving on, iPhone 4 to iPhone 5. That biggest difference was the lightning port. Instead of it being that, that long ass rectangular thing that we had, it became this little bitty thing that they call the lightning port, obviously. I think I forgot what the fucking other thing called. I think it was macro or something. I don't know. Micro something. But they changed it into the lightning port, okay? From 5. And then of course they had the 5S, 5C with all the different colors or whatever. I had a 5C. It was okay. From 5 to 6, the biggest difference, well, honestly, between 5 and 6, there really wasn't that big of a difference. I mean, they all still had the S word. And I don't really, I mean, was there really a big difference between those two? Not really. People still bought it, obviously. From 6 to 7, though, that's where the major changes started coming in. Because from the iPhone, with the iPhone 7, y'all remember they got rid of the headphone jack and they made it to where your phone only had the lightning port, right? You only had the charging port. You had to basically buy another cable. It was a lightning port. So it was lightning to headphone jack basically. You plug that part in and you still had to have your own headphones. Why they changed this? I have no fucking clue. Actually, I do know, to take our money, obviously. iPhone 7 to iPhone 8. That's when the shit started becoming all glass. iPhone 8 to iPhone X, they removed the home button. And then we had 11 X and 11 weren't really that big of a difference. I think, no, I'm sorry, the camera. They started changing the cameras around and all that stuff. But then the 12 came out. We had the 12, 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max. I guess the 12 Pro Max would have had a better processor, whatever. Still wasn't that big a difference. It still ran like a normal iPhone. From 12, we had 13, which was really no difference at all. Then, of course, they had the phones, cameras, not really that big a difference. And then we were at 15 now. Well, they have a 15 now, which is what I have. I have a 15 plus camera. That's about it. And of course, the fucking phone itself may have been larger, whatever. Now we're at 16, and I honestly don't know what the difference is between 15s and 16s. I really don't. I mean, maybe somebody else can tell me. Y'all can say it in the comments, but honestly, I don't know what the difference is, and I'm not wasting my money on it. But I will stress this again. Don't listen to me. I am not here to tell you what the fuck to do with your money. I am not your father nor your grandfather. So you do what the fuck you want with your money. I'm just basically here to give my point of view on why I think we should spend our money wisely. Moving on. Smart home gadgets. So with these smart home gadgets, and when I say smart home, I mean you got Ring doorbells, which I won't talk about that because that was actually an ingenious idea. Everybody should invest in a Ring doorbell, in my opinion. Smart thermostats are probably one of the worst shits I've ever seen in my life because they're hard to operate. Why the fuck do I need Wi-Fi to control the temperature in my house? That's stupid, in my opinion. I mean, the thermostat I have, you got two buttons, up and down, and then you got two tabs on the bottom. Turn my fan on and turn my goddamn AC on, or if I want my heater on. Why in the hell do I need to ask Siri? I'm sorry, shit. Okay, good. She ain't react. God, I gotta. She gonna. These iPhones, bro. I tell y'all, this shit is crazy. But anyway, why the hell do I have to tell Alexa to turn down my thermostat? If I'm too lazy to turn down my own thermostat, then something's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, yeah, you have those. You have the speakers, the Alexa speakers, which I also have. I think that was a good idea. Smart home gadgets that include appliances like your smart refrigerators or your smart washing machines, your smart dryers, and your smart stoves, if that's something, which if it's not, I wouldn't be surprised if it will become something in the near future. Starting with these stupid ass refrigerators. First of all, I don't need a touchpad on my refrigerator. I really don't. I mean, I don't need to talk to my refrigerator. I don't. Only thing my shit is there for is keeping my food cold or keeping it frozen on the freezer side. Other than that, what do we need to talk about? Like, why do I need to talk to my refrigerator? That is the weirdest shit ever. And I know y'all don't stay woke about this kind of shit though, because a lot of these companies with these smart XYZs, they're holding on to your information. At least I think they are. But hey, like I said, don't listen to me. Smart stoves. Is that a thing? If it is, God help us. If it's not, I hope it never becomes a thing. Because again, why the hell do I need to talk to my stove to get it to turn on? If I have knobs on it and I have buttons on it, I can do it myself. I don't need nobody else doing it for me. Let me see. Refrigerator stoves. Oh yes, these fucking digital washing machines and dryers. Those gotta be the worst things ever. Like, especially Samsung brand, like that's probably the worst brand I've ever seen in my life as far as appliances are concerned. Unfortunately, I do have a Samsung refrigerator, but I mean, it's been good for me since I've had it almost a year now. It's been pretty good to me. That sound unsafe for smart stove or no? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a smart stove. Like again, I'm hoping that this isn't a thing, and I hope it's never a thing. If it's not a thing, I hope it never becomes a thing. And if it is a thing, I hope it becomes obsolete really, really soon. Because just imagine if you listening to music, right, and you just so have, or let's say you're watching something, and this person just so happens to say, "Turn your stove to XYZ," and your shit turns on without you knowing. Like that's fucking dangerous. That shit can burn your house down. You know. But in any case, let's see. What can we move on to? We've already talked about clothing and apparel. We've also talked about technology. We've dove somewhat into the appliances, which again, I swear for everything on this earth, I swear to God that this smart stove better not be something. Y'all don't understand, bro. I keep dwelling on this smart stove, but y'all don't understand. That's probably one of the worst inventions ever, if that is one. And if it's not, like I said, that is be one of the worst inventions ever. So let's pray that that never becomes a thing, especially for people like me that cook. Like, no, I don't need my shit turning on and off without my knowledge. Let's talk about the kids for a second. So, as far as kids are concerned, it's like every parent gets their kid an iPad, which I think is a waste of time. And I also think it kind of hinders them in a way because, like I said in my last episode, technology, the way it takes over nowadays, it kind of takes away from the societal part of life, meaning you have to actually get out and make friends and, conversate with people and actually hang out with people instead of getting on an iPad and just watching YouTube all day or getting on an iPad and playing games all day. So I think that that's an expense. That's something that's not needed. That's expensive and also not needed, as well as designer baby clothes, which I don't understand why your baby has to have on Gucci or Burberry or anything like that. The baby doesn't really give a fuck about what it has on. I mean, some of them do, but when they get to a certain age, they will. But like for infants, like no, don't do that. Well, I'm not gonna say that again. Don't listen to old King Jew here. Do what you want to do. But yeah, what babies don't need that. They don't really need that. I mean, go to Once Upon a Child, go to Walmart, get you some basic clothes for your child. As long as they got clothes, you know what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck about a baby having Gucci or anything designer. Strollers and cribs too. I mean, get you. I mean, I don't personally know too many of them that's that expensive because I'm not really an expensive shopper. Like I go Amazon for my shit. Amazon, Walmart. I live in those two fucking stores. Well, y'all know what I'm saying. I'm gonna talk about vehicles too, but we're gonna get to that in a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta have my notes here. Gotta stay on track. Cause otherwise I start rambling and I can't do that. You know what? We can talk about some stuff that's in the home too. Outside of the smart gadgets and shit. Outside of your dumb appliances and all of your dumb stuff. Let's talk about some other things that people buy just because they saw it on TikTok or just because they want it in their house. Like this new juicer that they have. I see a lot of people. I see it being bought a lot, and it's not expensive. I mean, I get that, but if you're gonna buy it because you want it, not because you see how it operates. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. But yeah, those Ninja air fryers, blenders, shit, all kinds of stuff that people just want just to they want it just to say they have it instead of them using it. Because honestly, I feel like a Ninja blender. Well, obviously Ninja is like you know top top dog type shit, but I feel like there's a lot of other great value brand items if you shop at Walmart that pretty much do the same thing. So with that being said, again, not trying to make you do, not trying to tell you what to do with your money, just giving my not expertise, giving my opinion on it basically. Let's see. So yeah, we touched on the house items, we touched on smart stuff, touched on baby clothes. Let's see. I want to wait to get into the vehicle thing because that's gonna be a. I have a lot to say about that. You know what? I think that's pretty much it. All right, fuck it. Let's get into the vehicles. If y'all must know, I myself drive. I have a 2020 Toyota Camry, and I also have a 2006 Honda Pilot that I use for basically my work vehicle. My Camry is my personal vehicle. That's also been, it's shared amongst myself, my mom, and my brother. And so is the Pilot. But my point is, those two vehicles are one, not expensive. I mean, the Camry was kind of expensive compared to other vehicles. It's not expensive. Two, get me from point A to B, and three are reliable fucking vehicles. Toyota and Honda, I always stress this. Toyota and Honda are top dogs. And this will probably be a different episode too. But for now, for the sake of keeping it short, Mercedes, BMW, Tesla, Lamborghini, hell, Bugattis, fucking Range Rovers, all kinds of shit. Different things that people just have to have. And my question to that is why? What made you want that luxury vehicle so bad? And I don't want to hear because it's nice or because I can afford it and this and that. No, what's the real reason why people what's the real reason why people want these luxury vehicles so bad? These vehicles that not only suck, I mean, let's just be honest right here. Benzes, Beamers, Range Rovers, Lamborghinis, Teslas, they're not good quality vehicles. I mean, Lamborghini maybe, but I've never driven one. I probably never will, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But those other brands, they're not good brands. These people are paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for something that's not gonna work. And then what's worse is that people get into these leasing terms and financing terms for vehicles that obviously they can't afford. Because I'm gonna put y'all on game for a second. For those of you that don't know, dealerships love when you go in there to try to lease something, especially when you got a bad credit score. If they could get you approved with something, they're gonna get you approved. 9 times out of 10, these dealerships and these people that work here, they know what type of person you are. They kind of have an idea what's gonna happen. That's why if y'all see on these TikToks, never go in there saying what you want to spend and different things like that. Never give them the option to be like, oh, I have something around that range. No, you don't go in there like that, because what they're gonna do is, if you, for example, if you give them a range of like saying, "Oh, I want to pay like between 500 and 800 a month," they're gonna come back. I mean, obviously, I'm not to say that they're not gonna try to come back with a lower rate, but they're gonna try to come back to probably the higher rate. If you say you don't want to spend no more than 800, you might get something saying that, oh, well, you're gonna spend like 850 a month or something like that. Sometimes it's not that they can't afford it because it's a lemon or it's too soon for you to get out of that car. Yeah, that is true. I'm gonna get to that too as well. Yeah, people, or they, you people get stuck in these terms that they can't really get out of. I've been a victim of that as well. Honestly, I kind of feel like I am a victim of that currently, because I pay 670 goddamn five on my car right now, and it feels like I'm giving a piece of my soul every time I make a payment. But in any case, and I say that to say, like, if you're in a situation to where you have to get a term, or you have to lease something, then by all means do what you have to do. But if you don't have to, don't do it. Don't do it just because you want the newest car or because you want a fancy car, because you're gonna find out really, really soon that you're gonna be paying on that car for years and years and years and years. For example, APR rate, that's a big thing. APR, annual percentage rate, that is a really, really big thing, especially when it comes to these vehicles. If you have even a 10% APR rate, you're paying 10% more than what the car is worth. So, for example, if you get a car that's $50,000 and you have a 10% APR rate, that's another 5 G's that you have to pay to that car. And that's going to be broken out over time. And for some banks, it might even be higher. Like, I think the average rate, I want to say is between 5 and 10%, maybe 5 and 15. I could be wrong about that, but just from what I've been seeing, and the APR I'm in now is like 15%, which is fucking horrible, honestly. If we're being honest, that's fucking horrible. But that's not the worst. I've had higher than that when I had another vehicle that was like shit 25% APR, and that was with a 600 credit score. And then just to let y'all know how fucked up the car market is nowadays, 8%. Okay, yeah. That's what I figured. I knew it was something in between. So average is like 8%, and credit acceptance is 28%. Yeah, see, so that makes sense then. But in any case, yeah, guys, I'm saying that to say this. Just again, if you're in a situation to where you have to, get into something, then by all means do what you have to do. But if you're gonna do it, like, don't do it just because you want a new car or because you want something fancy. Like, get you something that's gonna get you from point A to B. If you gotta have a new car, make sure you can afford it. Don't get tricked up by these goddamn dealerships. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fondle you. Don't let them trap you into something that you can't get out of, and then you fuck around and get your shit repossessed. And then 3 years down the line, that shit don't drop off until, actually, not even 3 years. I think that shit stays on there for 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, y'all, like I said, it's just kind of messed up that people do these kind of things just for the hell of it, honestly. And I mean, hey, you work hard for your money. You only live once, so I'm not judging anybody for what they choose to spend their money on. But coming from me as a black person, a lot of these brands that we give our money to, for one, they don't really care for us. Like, and I feel like we should really put more of our money into the black businesses and the smaller businesses. That way we can, come up together. We support our businesses, but at the same time, they have something quality for our community that we can be proud of, whether it be clothing or anything like that. Clothing, hell, appliances, technology, whatever the case may be. Let me see. Credit acceptance is 28%. Sometimes it's not that they can't afford it because it's a lemon or it's too soon for you to get out the car. And that's another thing too. Like, it's really hard once you're in something, especially a lease or a finance, it's really hard to get out of. Like, the only way to get out of it is for a total. What I mean by a total is that your shit gets wrecked. and it's no longer drivable. That's like the only way to really get out of something like that. But like I said, yeah, just be smarter with your money. Again, you only live once, so I get it. But let's be smarter with what we choose. Well, let's be smarter with what we choose to spend our money on. Let's not fork over our hard-earned dollars for these major brands that you know charging top dollar for shit that you can really get somewhere else for a fraction of the price. And, Gucci, things like that. I mean, I don't know, yo. It's like, again, I'm not saying what to spend your money on, but just for me personally, and I'm going to keep stressing that because I know people are going to be like, oh, you telling us what to spend our money on? Because I know how people are. They don't listen to shit that other people say. So I'm going to keep stressing it. I'm not telling you what to spend your money on, but I am saying that let's be smarter about what we spend our money on because once you start buying all these expensive items, that you couldn't get in your childhood, you do that just to fill that void that was left from back in the day. But the thing is, once you get into it, it's really, really hard to get out of. It's like a never ending vortex of just debt that you're in that it's damn near impossible to get out of. Even with the smallest things like getting a credit card that you don't need, that shit can really hinder you. Like take it from me. I've done it myself. I've gotten a credit card that I didn't need, but I wanted it because it was extra money and it really fucked over me. It really did. And it's not that place's fault. It's my fault because I realized that I didn't need it. And by that time, it was too late. I was already too far gone. Like now it's paid off, but looking back at it, it's something that I didn't need. But moving on to my last point of the day, and I'm gonna try to keep this somewhat brief. We're already at 32 minutes, so I'm gonna keep this somewhat brief. And I'm gonna throw a curveball at y'all for a second. This next topic is not an item. This next topic is an ideology. So one of my my podcast colleagues, another brother that does podcasts. Shout out to you, my man. On my Instagram, my King Drew Talks Instagram, he answered my question. And the question was, well, the topic of the day was, what's something that is overly expensive that we keep buying into or that we find ourselves buying over and over again. And he hit me with a curveball. I must admit, like I was expecting him to say like some item that I didn't think of. But yeah, he really threw a curveball at me. And I'm gonna tell y'all what he said. I'm gonna just paraphrase it. He basically said that something that is expensive that we keep buying into is the idea of time. And I'm gonna explain what that means. Basically, what he was saying is in our life, obviously we're all living on borrowed time. That's a fact. I mean, we're all gonna move on at some point in our life. We don't know when that's gonna be. Nobody knows when it's gonna be. We pray that we live as long as we can, but at the end of the day, nobody knows when it's their time. So what he was saying was we buy into this idea that we have more time than we really do. And procrastination is one of the most expensive things that we can buy because once we're out of time, we're just out of time. With every passing second, that's another second in history. What I just said is in history because I already said it. So basically, with the time that we do have, it's better to do what we have to do in our life now, live our lives now, hustle, do whatever you have to do to get to that point in your life that you need to be. Because if you procrastinate and you don't do shit and you wait to the last minute to do shit that you need to do, you'll find out in the long run you're going to be paying for that tenfold. For example, if you didn't jump on, let's say, for example, I'm gonna just use a small example. If there's a sale that you want to catch, I'm gonna use a big example too. If there's a sale that you want to catch, but you wait till the last day because for whatever fucking reason, you get there and the items that you wanted are no longer there because somebody got there before you. And now you're beating yourself up because you're like, damn, I wanted that fucking item, but I waited too late to get to it. Bigger example, let's say you want to put down on a house. Let's say you want to buy you a house. It's your dream house. Whoop de woo. Instead of getting on that now, you decide to wait. Let's say I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for a little bit. And I'm gonna see. If the price drops, whatever. Instead of you getting on that and making some sort of offer, you decide to wait. And all of a sudden, you read a text or you see a notification that says XYZ is now unavailable for purchase or is now off the market. So instead of you doing what you had to do to get that house, you're now shit out of luck because you decided to wait on it. And I'm only using these as examples. I mean, obviously, you guys can make your own examples out of this, but like I said, in a nutshell, the most expensive thing that we continue to buy is procrastination because we don't use our time wisely. And I know, like I said, y'all, this is a curveball. When I saw this shit, I was like, damn, bro, really thinking it. He like really, really thinking about this shit. And I appreciated it so much because he really gave me a whole new insight on shit. But in any case, yeah, you guys use your time wisely because procrastination is the most expensive thing that's not physical because it costs us the most. If we decide to not use our time wisely, that will cost us way more than any physical item can cost us. Remember that. I'm going to say it again. The most expensive ideology that we continue to buy that's not physical is procrastination and the idea that we have more time than we really have. Because if you do not utilize your time like you should, if you do not jump on those opportunities that you should, instead, if you wait, you will pay for it way more than any physical item. It will cost you way more than any materialistic item can ever cost you. That's all I got for today, y'all. Keep it G. I'm going utilize my time wisely now. All right, catch y'all on the next one. Jordan.